Hello. I just realized I should change the little um, sticker I have there. And I'm just going to make it all of Helene's Hetzel's books. Let's just talk about all of her books, because I have all of her books. I have even the early editions. So we have, I should flip this over. Let's see, how do I do that without, not flip camera. I think it's mirror camera. Oh dear, I don't remember how to mirror the camera. Oh, mirror your video, there we go. So, Helene, her first book was The Name It and Claim It Game. And then she wrote In Contact with Other Realms. And then she wrote Confessions of an 83-Year-Old Sage. And then her only fiction book, A Man Called Friday. And what I've been doing is I've been going through her files, and I've been going through her anything I can find online. And I blogged this for May 1st. It was written for May 1st when she actually came to Canada, to Windsor, in fact, to give a talk. And I didn't know this because I don't think I'd ever seen it in her files, but she got a doctorate of psychometry, a doctorate of psychoorientology in Laredo, Texas, the same that Dyke Hadsel had. I have to go through her box again and see if I can find the certificate, which is kind of cool. But what's amazing is in her 70s, she was bored. And she's like, I wonder what it's like to write fiction. Totally different animal than nonfiction. And she wrote a fiction book. Like, she didn't give up. There's a few holes in it, and it kind of ends a little bit abruptly. Everything ties up too neat with a bow. It's so cute, though. I love it. And this one says, would you consider this classified ad? Alex did, and it changed his life forever when he became a man called Friday. Wanted, male, 40 to 50 years of age. Must be free to travel with no family obligations for a 1-year contract. Sense of adventure, ability to do field research required. Call Beth for an interview at 888-555-6363. Join Alex this Friday as he travels around the country helping strangers at crossroads in their lives. In the process, he discovers how, by helping others, he helped himself. She's so cute, Helene. Love her. So that was her only fiction book, and Confessions of an 83-Year-Old Sage. Now, there's an interesting history with this. She wrote this book first, but there's actually a section in this book. Oh, I own the car in the front of that book, and I've had it for 43 years. Ha, that's cool. You know what? So here's the original cover. Here's the original cover. And it has a lot of little quotes on it. Now, you notice there's no ISBN. So Helene wrote this book, printed it up herself, and if you knew about her book and sent her a check, I think it was for $12. Let me just look here. I think it was for, where was it? I saw it in the back of something. Maybe it was in the back of this one. She would sell it to you for $12. Oh, it's not in the back of this one. Yeah, in the back of her book, she would put, like you can see here, she would put a page in for her Delta Sciences, and you could order books from her. Like the Name It and Claim It game was $12 and $2.50 postage, but it wasn't professionally printed. She had a printer print them up, and these ones, well, this isn't one of them. I have another one, and it's actually printed crooked. Like, this one's cut square, but the other one is cut, like, on an angle. I was looking at it one day. I'm like, this looks so odd. And then I realized it wasn't even. How funny is that? So So, you know, we updated. So these ones don't have ISBNs. She just wrote them and printed them up with a local printer. And if you sent her some money, she mailed out the book. So these two books, until I actually made them available for Modern Methods, weren't available to the public on a large scale. On a large scale. So right now, it's exciting because I'm doing a lot of different things. So this one, for example, is in print, ebook, and Audible, and it's already been translated once, ta-da, into Spanish. And this one has just been translated into Spanish. So new, in fact, I'm still waiting on my author copies. I haven't even got them yet. That's how new this is in Spanish. And it's oh, please forgive my Spanish, en contacto con otro renes. I hope I got that right. So this one's in Spanish. This one's also print, ebook, Audible. I'm recording this Audible edition right now. I'm actually going back to the studio on Friday. We finished the first draft, and now we're into the edits. As I'm traveling later this month, very excited because I'm also the contest queen. I'm going to the Tar Heel Sweepstakes banquet, and then I'm going to be doing some stuff for maintaining Helene's legacy, so I'm very excited about that. And then, because I'm not busy enough, I'm becoming a Silva method instructor, because you got to remember, Helene Hadsel worked with Jose Silva. She was his assistant. As she tells that story in this book, and actually in this book, whoops, she tells that story in this book, and in Confessions. Now, the reason Confessions came out is because when she printed these, she printed them up like this. This was the original, and it was done by First Books. And when they ran out of copies, it went out of print. Printing then wasn't the same as printing now. So when she ran out, so she wrote this book. So some of the stories are the same, but not all. There's a few overlaps, but there's some new stories in here, like the story with Dr. Joseph Murphy. I've seen people blog that one. That one's fun. It's how, so in this book, she tells the story of how she won a full, I guess technically this one too, even though it's in Spanish. In this book, she tells the story of how she won a fully furnished home. And in this book, Dr. Joseph Murphy talks to her about how he manifested a fully furnished home from someone he didn't even know. How cool is that? And what's really fun is that story is Dr. Norman Vincent Peale, you know, he is famous for The Power of Positive Thinking. He told Dr. Joseph Murphy that he needed to come talk to Helene. Who are you hanging around? That those are your peeps, right? I want that circle of friends. I have some of those friends. Actually, this is someone that I have followed and worked with for a long time, Robert Ohado. He wrote Transforming Fate into Destiny. I highly recommend this book. It completely changed my life. So basically the two books that changed my life in countless ways are these two. Totally changed my life in ways that I can't even fathom. And Robert does amazing YouTube videos. So go check him out on YouTube. And he's a mix of metaphysics and astrology. So it's really cool. So he's an intuitive astrologer, but he did a course called Empathic Soul and Love Rebel, or The Intuitive Adult, or Archetypes and the Magnetics of Relationships. Oh my God, those are so good. And then he just did like the astrology forecast for 2024. 12 videos and a 50-page PDF. The man is crazy. Yeah, so there he is. He's got a beard now, though. So go check him out. He's really good. Anyway, I was excited this week because I felt like I hit gold. If you read this book, you know at the beginning, my edition, of course, that in 2008 I had a podcast. I had a podcast before it was cool to have a podcast. And, I wish I'd kept it. But anyway, it's called With the Contest Queen. And anybody in the contest community, we all knew about Helene Hadsell. Like, she was the queen, of course, because she'd won a fully furnished home and won all her prizes and everything. And I invited her on the show. And it was really, like, I've had people complain on that video because I took the audio and put it on YouTube. And I've had people complain about the audio and stuff. And they're like, you should fix the mics and all this stuff. And I'm thinking, oh, they have no concept. This was recorded in 2008. And do you know how you did a podcast in 2008? I phoned in on a landline to Blog Talk Radio. And Helene phoned in on her landline to Blog Talk Radio to my special phone number. And I had a digital online board. And then I would just hit live. And then we would be live. There was no adjusting mics. There was no... Now, I also wasn't the best interviewer in the world. All right. We all grow. We all have to start somewhere. However, I couldn't control the sound, nothing. And I could probably now, because I'm doing all the audibles, take the audio to my producer and have him fix it. But those videos have had so many views, I can't take them down. And besides, YouTube, when you take an audio file and compress it and stuff and put it on YouTube, I don't know. It doesn't sound great. So I just leave it. I could take the file and have him fix it and just put the audio straight on my website. I might do that now that I'm thinking about it. Let's workshop stuff live. And by the way, if you have any questions about Helene Hadsell or what I teach or any of that, please leave it in the comments. And the next person I'm going to be working with is Tag Powell. This is the next book I'm working on. We're going to get Money and You published. I thought I would get it done this month, but I don't know. It's a busy month. So we'll see. So my goal this year is to publish 12 books. I've published 1 so far. I'm a bit behind because it's the 3rd month and we're a week in. Maybe that's what I'll do after this live stream. And then I'm going to do a Silva introductory, Silva method grads class for an hour. And then maybe I'll write or something. Just because I'm super busy, I should always do more, right? Anyway, yeah, so that's what I'm working on. And anyway, I had Helene on my show, and off air, I said to her, I'd like to come visit you. I was so cheeky. She said no. I'm like, all right. 3 days later, she phones me back, and she goes, your guides are so loud, you better call me back because, or you better come visit because they're really loud. And I thought, yep. She just would rather have been left alone, but clearly we had a soul contract, and my spirit guides were not going to leave her be until she agreed to have me hang out with her. And while I was hanging out with her, she said, no one's going to maintain my legacy, you need to do it. And I think she asked me because at that time her grandchildren weren't in that position. And I had written books on sweepstakes, so I was already an author. I had all the modern technologies. She was not technologically savvy, which is kind of sad because at that time there was even YouTube. Like YouTube was available for several years before she could have had a YouTube channel if she was technically inclined. Wouldn't that be something, eh? Old recordings of Helene. But she didn't. And it's funny because she was a show-off. Like, if you read some of her stories, she wanted to be seen. She, you know, was a bit of a show-off. Like, she says that in the Art Linkletter story, which is in this book, I think. Yeah, this book. Oh, no, wait. It's in this book. I don't know. I've read all her books. Now they're a blur. So, I'm pretty sure, actually, now that I say that, it's in this one where she was at the Art Linkletter show. She had a chance to go, and she won a, now I'm surprised they just get it. Oh yeah, here it is. She even says right here, she goes, I had watched the Art Linkletter show on occasion and always found the program to be sincere, wholesome, and entertaining. I also had hopes of one day being on the program. A characteristic of mine, I'm a show-off. Now, I find that so interesting that she was a show-off, and YouTube was available, but I think part of the problem is she was in her 80s by then, and I don't think she realized the impact that YouTube would have had or how she could have utilized it, because she also thought that nobody else was interested in this book. Like, it was finished, like it had a good run and it was dead, and sell off what little she had of her inventory, which, by the way, I have the remains of her files, and I'm going to sell these books off, the ones from her house, the last print run of her books. I got to get that up on Words for Winning. Another thing that I want to do this year. Yeah, and I have some of Tag's too. Not this one, though. I only have one copy of this. This is quite the book. And he was a Silva instructor. So between her working for Jose Silva and Tag Powell being a Silva instructor, and the other main reason I'm taking it is Tag. There's another edition too, but Tag wrote 2 Silva books, the Silva Mind Mastery. He wrote the Silva Method of Mind Mastery and the Silva Mind Mastery for the 90s. So this is basically the second edition of the first book. And even Jose, I'm going to copy this, and I'm actually going to put it in the book, and it says, I congratulate Tag and Judy Powell for authoring the Silva Mind Mastery. This book explains the advances in brain-mind relations that opens a world of new and exciting possibilities. Read this book, and I'm sure that you will start to change your life for the better. Jose Silva, founder of the Silva Method. So this book, you will learn breakthrough in holographic visualization that envisions many people to imagine powers to visualize for the first time. And so it's basically a book. If you've taken the Silva Method, you can go. Now, Helene discovered the Silva Method by attending a free introductory class. And did you know, now this is very cool, that you can take those, oh, I will, Joy, that you can take those same free introductory classes today. And what's even more exciting is part of my Silva Method instructor training. I assisted one, but I observed one on a Monday. Because I'm traveling, I can't do it until then, but in April, I am assisting, and at the end of April, I'm running one myself. So if you want to learn about what the Silva Method is all about, you can attend, and I will be walking you through it. How freaking cool is that? So if you go to my website, wordsforwinning.com, and scroll right to the bottom of the homepage, there's the free introductory class blog post, and you click on it, and it has you can read Helene's little story about how she met Jose. And then at the bottom is all the dates and the link to sign up. It's absolutely free. and you can check it out, and it has all the date. And actually, I just got the new dates today from the assistant, so I need to. What's interesting about the Silva method is it kind of predates a lot of the other tools because it's almost 60 years old now. So some of the things that you learn from other teachers, so Jose was already teaching in the 60s, which I find fascinating. That because I've been reading metaphysical and motivational, inspirational, spiritual books since I was 18. I'm 57, so I've had a hot minute with these books over decades, and I've read all kinds. And I see some of the stuff in the Silva method, and I'm like, I know that, but they probably learned it from Silva, or they've taken it and expanded upon it. Like, if you read Tag Powell's Money and You, he narrows in on money because, like, let's face it, we all want money. But if you read it, it's very Silva method. You can feel the Silva method in it. I don't even know. It's like flavored with the Silva method. I don't even know how to explain it. Okay, so Joy, I didn't forget about you. Can you give us an example of how visualization has helped us get what you want? Okay. So there's two things that I've figured out for myself. And I've done it in different ways. So if you go back on my feed, I've been practicing the thought forms, or they call it mental texting, with the Silva method. So there's a mental texting component. And so when anything passes your mind, you can send a mental message to somebody because we're all connected. And Helene talks about it in her books about how thought forms float. And I heard a famous story, and I wish I could remember where I heard it from, but apparently there's a famous story of Prince waking up in the middle of the night, or being up in the middle of the night, waking up his producer and says, you have to come to the studio now. We must record this song. Otherwise Michael Jackson will do it. And to me, that says Prince knew that thought forms float and travel. Because how many times have people said they had a great idea for an invention, or they thought of something and they didn't do anything with it, and 6 months later they see somebody's, got that thing on for sale or a service or whatever, and they're like, I knew that. Yeah, because thought forms float. If you don't grab it, somebody else will. So that's one thing. So what I've done, I've done it just recently. I'll give you the most recent one, because I've done it more than once, but the most recent one, and my boyfriend's he's not super romantic. He's such a sweetie pie, and he takes care of me, and he has my back, and I can't even tell you how wonderful he is for me. He's my perfect match. And because I get to be 100% myself with him, which is what we should all have, right? But he's just not a romantic person, and that's okay, because that's who he is. But I thought, I'd like a little romance. So I was assisting with the Silva method, starting February 1st, because of 4-day intensive. And I thought, because part of it is we assist with them too. I'll tell you how I manifested him too. There's a story behind that. Okay, so let's do the mental texting, and I'll tell you how I manifested him. And it's not like all these people I see on TikTok and other platforms saying, manifest a specific person. Don't be doing that. That's my opinion, by the way. I mean, they might be teaching great stuff, and it might... just because I don't agree with it doesn't mean it doesn't work. And the reason is we're all like a mosaic or a big puzzle. We need all the pieces. Otherwise, it doesn't work. So what might work for... that might not work for me, but it might work for somebody else. So I don't poo-poo anything. I just say it's not for me. Right? Because if it's perfect for somebody else, then why should I turn that down? Oh, please tell us. I wrote a letter describing my dream man. I hope he shows up. Okay, first of all, let me go back and tell the story. But hoping he shows up? You have to know he'll show up. That's the same as Helene knowing she was going to win a house. Anyway, I know you'll find somebody. Oh, I tried to, no, you don't want your ex back. There's a reason he's an ex. Trust me. I cried for 8 years over my ex. I had to get all that crap out of my system. It was like pus coming out of a wound. The person I am now is not the person that left that split from that man. And I wouldn't want him for 2 seconds now as a partner. I just connect with him as my daughter's father and wish him well on his path. Anyway, ooh, you're going to win a house. Okay, so let's go back to the mental texting before I lose my train of thought, because I can go off on a tangent. So I'm in the Silva method training, because when we're not doing the assisting part, because it's not the entire time, we can sit in on the program. And they were talking about the mental texting, and I thought, I'd really like some flowers this Valentine's Day, because the only Valentine's George bought me flowers was the first one we were together. And I thought, I'm going to just mentally text him all the time that I would like some flowers for Valentine's Day. And Helene talks about this, and people say, do I have to visualize it all the time? No. Anytime it just crossed her mind, she goes, So anytime it just passed my mind, I'm like, oh. And in my brain, it was like I was doing this on my phone. Like, George, I would like flowers for Valentine's Day. Thank you, sweetheart. Toot send, right? But I'm doing that mentally. That's why I'm just like typing a little message in my head and sending it off to George. George, sweetheart, I would like flowers for Valentine's Day. Send. Once in a while. Maybe a couple times a day. And part of me doubts that this stuff will work. I think, yeah, this stuff's hunky. I don't know why I'm doing all this stuff. And on Valentine's Day, he's like, oh, I gotta go to Costco. Do you want anything? I'm like, oh yeah, look at the shopping list. We need milk or something, butter, whatever. So he's like, okay. I'm like, oh great. See if they have any chickens for dinner. Okay. Off he goes. I think nothing of it. That man doesn't come back with one. He comes back with 2 bunches of flowers. 2. I'm like, what? One for me and one for my daughter. I haven't seen flowers in 6 years, and he came with 2. Are you kidding me? He came with 2 bunches of flowers? So I'm like, why do I doubt this stuff? It works. It was one of my little Silva testimonials at one of the programs. I'm like, yeah, I don't know why. And Helene talks about it. So just, you just let it go. Then I had, okay, so that was the one thing. So you just try it. So I would just visualize some flowers, nothing specific. Just because you see them all the time in the stores. You can see a bunch of flowers in your head. And I didn't really hold any attachment to it. Because actually, I was surprised that he did it. So I wasn't like, oh, he has to bring me flowers. He has to bring me flowers. I'm like, no, I just sent him a message. Just like, I'm like, hey, can you pick up milk from the store on your way home? So that was the level of attachment I had to it. Then the other thing, I did another video on this. Manifest with passing thoughts. I'm like, oh. And the reason they're good is because we have 0 attachment to them. And it happened 3 times in a row, so I really paid attention. So I'm in my bathroom. Now this is kind of funny because I'm going to tell you how. And then I'll tell you about the man. So this is the second manifesting thing. I'm also the contest queen, and I like to enter giveaways, and I win tons of stuff. And when I split up with my ex, he'd always bought me perfume. And now I didn't have a man in my life to buy me perfume, because I stayed single for 4 years because I wouldn't want to date that hot mess. So I just, took a breather for a hot minute, watched Downton Abbey, and drank a lot of tea, and finished a book, and finished as in wrote a book, things like that. So then I won a prize pack from Dave Lackey. If you like beauty, go follow Dave Lackey Beauty on Instagram. He's always giving stuff away. It's so cool. And I think on Twitter and does he give stuff away on Facebook anymore? I don't know. Anyway, go follow Dave Lackey Beauty on Instagram. And I won some perfume from him. And I'm like, oh, this is great. I'm out of perfume from my husband. Now I have Dave. Dave's my perfume man, And he's so knowledgeable about cosmetics and perfumes and stuff. He's fascinating to listen to, by the way. Anyway, he, and when that bottle was almost empty, I won another bottle from him. I've been divorced 10 years, and I have never bought myself perfume. Why? Because I keep, every time I'm just about to run out, I win from Dave Lackey. I look in my, I was in my, getting ready about a month, maybe 2 months ago now, and I look and I'm like, oh, I'm very low on perfume. I need to get some more perfume. I'm like, and I just let it go. The next thing I know, I win another freaking bottle of perfume from Dave. I'm like, are you kidding me? And I just thought, oh, I'm low on perfume. I'm going to have to do something about that. No, it just showed up. Then, this is why I really noticed it with passing thoughts. I'm going to the Tar Heel Sweepstakes Banquet on March 23rd in North Carolina. And they rent this Legion Hall with folding chairs. And last year, George and I went. And we had a lot of fun. But by the end of the day, sitting on those chairs, our butts were a little bit sore. Because, you know, they're not great. And they're not really designed to be sat in all day. Not like, you know, my comfy chair. Which, by the way, I bought with a Visa gift card I won. That's how that goes. New office chair. Anyway. Yeah, I remember saying that it'd be nice to have a getaway, and I won one. I entered and forgot about it. Yes! Passing thoughts. Passing thoughts. So then I remembered some people had brought those, like, cushions you take to, like, sporting games. And I thought, oh, it'd be really good if I had one. And then I entered a Reese's contest to win to go to an NBA game. And last year and the year before, if you won instantly, you won an NBA store gift card, $50, $100. I think there was some for $250, and you could go buy swag, right, for your favorite team. This year, I hit an instant win. I'm like, I knew it. First time I entered. What do you think I want? What do you think the prize is this year? Seat cushions. I'm like, are you kidding me? And hopefully it'll arrive before I leave. Oh, is it bad to think of something you want all the time? Okay, I will. And it would be nice to meet the Italian man of my dreams when I'm there next month. So I'll give you something to say. Because when I started dating, I used a saying, one from Colette Baron Reid and one from Robert Ohado. And that kept me sane. Anyway, and then the third one was I was doing a vision board, so you can go and see I did a couple of videos here on my vision board, and I thought, oh, I would like to energize this with crystals. And then I'm thinking, I'm going to have to go and investigate and order some small crystals from somewhere, because you can't put big crystals on a vision board because it's Bristol board from the dollar store. I mean, the thing's not flimsy, but I mean, it's thicker than paper, but it can't hold like crystals on it. You want just small ones. The next day, I'm in the dollar store, and I have never seen these. I saw a box of like with little bottles. Actually, they're over here. Let me grab one. Look, little bottles, green aventurine. Look how tiny these crystals are. 12 of these. Look, this was garnet. There's other ones, like 12 different ones for $4.50 at the dollar store. These are the perfect. Look how small these are. Are these not the perfect size to glue onto a vision board and energize it? I'm like, and look how much I have for like every year, any project I want to do. Like, it's crazy. I'm like, are you kidding me? That's crazy. So, so I saw that and I thought, okay, so because there's no attachment, zero attachment to those things. So they were easy to manifest. So then, okay, so how I met George, and then I'll go back to answering the questions. So at some point I decided, okay, I'm ready to start dating again. And I went on Plenty of Fish and Bumble. And I met one really nice fella. But he was a test fella. I think the universe went, because my ex, he was an alcoholic. And he's sober now, thank goodness. But at the time it was, you know, I was running those patterns and he was running those patterns. So I had done a lot of inner work, shadow work, whatever you want to call it, for 4 years. So I met this really nice fellow, and I'm still friends with him on Facebook. Like, he's not a bad person, just not for me. And I dated him for about, I don't know, 6 months total, and I could see the patterns. It's amazing when you become the observer. And it was basically the universe saying to me, let's just check to make sure you're finished with addicts. And I went, yeah, I am. I'm done with them. And then I had a massive project with my business, so I took the summer off because I met him in the fall. So spring, we kind of split up. And then I didn't date anybody for the summer because I was full busy. I didn't have time. I was busy with the project. I own my own business. Now I own 3 businesses because I'm not busy enough. So I own Contest Queen, which teaches people how to win sweepstakes. I own Idea Majesty, which is a sweepstakes marketing company. And I own Words for Winning, which is a publishing company. And I'm taking Silva instructor training, and I'm also taking a YouTube course. I think there's a few more things in there, but I don't know what they are. Anyway, so then I said, okay, I'm ready to start dating. And I said to the universe, this is all I asked for. I didn't have a letter. I didn't have a list. I said, I want the male version of me, because my ex was so different from me. And the problems we had was because our values weren't aligned. So it doesn't make him a bad person. It's just we don't match. So how I dealt with things with a house or with children or with money or with business or whatever it was, some things we were the same page on, but some things we're not even on the same page. We're in different books. So I thought, I need someone that's basically the male version of me, so that when we talk, that we're on the same page. I don't have to, and we don't have to be identical. Like, he's off having fun tonight with his friends. He loves darts, so they're off doing a dart tournament or something tonight. And I'm doing a live stream because the house is quiet tonight because my daughter's at school. All her classes are at night this year. It's weird. One semester it's in the day, one semester's at night. University. Anyway, at least it's in person. The first year this poor kid was in, her first year of university was spent in her room because it was during lockdowns. So I thought I'd come live. But then I'm going to sign off because I got to go to this Silva class. So then I just lost my train of thought. Oh, yeah. So I put it out that I wanted the male version of me so that we could be, aligned. So I went back on Plenty of Fish and Bumble, and I waited till, because of Robert, I waited till after Mercury retrograde was over, and then I signed up again. And I signed up on a Wednesday, and I saw his profile on Friday, and what really attracted me was 2 things. On every vision board in the love romance area, I'd always put 2, we call them Muskoka chairs in Canada, but you guys call them Adirondack chairs in the United States, on a dock. Like on a lake, right? Yeah, see, that's what you want. Ask for, I want the perfect person so we are aligned. Not, oh, he has to be this high with this much hair and this. No, forget that. Because if he's right, it doesn't matter if he's got no hair, he has glasses, or he's got a little fuzzy chest, or whatever it is. Whatever, because it'll work. It'll work. I always tease George because he has skinny legs. I go, oh, I love your little scrawny legs. He just shakes his head, laughs at me, right? Like, I know women aren't like double taking as he walks by. He's just like a regular guy. He makes me so happy though. So I saw his profile on Friday, and the second thing that attracted me, because he said, because I'm so busy, as I've been describing, I needed somebody that was busy. And he said, and that could accept my busy, because hello, I'm like, I need somebody that can accept the good crazies, I call it. And he had on there that he could, sleep, I'll sleep when I'm dead. In other words, he likes to be busy, he doesn't sit around. And then the part of the chairs, he said his perfect Sunday was, sitting on a dock with his favorite girl and a cup of coffee and all this stuff. And I was like, that guy. So I messaged him, and then we had coffee on the Monday and the Tuesday, and then we started seeing each other like a couple days here and there, and then that was the end of September. And by sometime in December, I was seeing him every day. And I don't know when I started. Like, it was kind of gradual. And I don't know when I started dating him every day. And then he's like, he wanted me to move in. Now, this is where the universe... He had an older friend. Like, his name was Al. And he was 87. And he was using a walker, and he had something wrong with his leg, and he was on a wait list to get into a home, and George couldn't see him. You know, he had to stay somewhere while he was waiting, and George had the extra room in the back, and it's a one-level house, and it worked with his walker, and so he rented out the room to his friend Al. And so Al was here, and then he also there was no room for me and my daughter because Al was in the room. And I was like, okay, well, if I'm meant to move in, it'll happen. Well, the next thing we know, all of a sudden, because he's been on a wait list for like 3 years, all of a sudden, boom, the nursing home calls and says, we have a space. And off Al went. And suddenly we're like clearing his stuff and moving this and moving that. And all of a sudden there was room for my daughter and I. And we just moved straight in. So the two things I want you to think about are... the two things, as I was dating, I kept saying to myself, Colette Baron Reid's saying is, what's meant for you will not pass you by. So if I was texting somebody and they seemed really nice, or I went and have coffee and then I never heard from them again, I'm like, oh, what's meant for me won't pass me by. Okay, he's not meant for me. I wouldn't even worry about it. Oh no, he never called me. No, he's not meant for me. If he's meant for me, he will call me. So if he didn't message me again, what I would usually do is just one more time, because sometimes people are busy and they lose the text or whatever. And so I'd let like maybe a week go by and, hey, just saying hi, checking in, what are you doing this weekend? If I still get nothing, then I just delete it. I'd leave it on my phone for like a week. If I never got anything, I would just delete it. Okay, he's not meant for me. Finished. Gone. Wouldn't even stress about it. Because everyone has a soul contract with somebody. That's the way I see it. And I clearly have a soul contract with George. Like, it got to the point where I talk about alignment. I would say something. He goes, oh, me too. He would say something. I'm like, oh, me too. It got to the point where it was ridiculous. We're doing our first family. At Christmas time, I came over and we were cooking together. And we were talking. We're in the kitchen. We're both cooking. And he doesn't have a big kitchen. It was, no, it's how to find them though. You start putting yourself out there and just let the universe do its thing. And because I knew that person was going to show up. See, that's the thing. I knew there was a person out there for me. I knew they were going to show up. Now I just had to have the fun of going out there and meeting them and going on one bad date and meeting some nice people that I knew I didn't match. And, that's the key. You have to know. Actually, I did have a bit of a cheat key. I will tell you this. In 2013, I did have a reading with Robert Ohado. And he did say to me, there is somebody out there for you. And I was like, okay. So I kind of felt like if he told me that, then I trusted that. Now, he doesn't do readings anymore, but he has trained people to do readings for him. So DM me if you want their link. Because one's Stacy Quest and the other's Katie Carlone. Or is it Quast? I always get her last name wrong. But that's how I manifested George. And we're just really good together. And he just lets me do things. But, like, for example, I got, anytime I'm stuck or anything, I can count on him. Do you know that? I don't even know how to describe that. Like, if I need something, he has my back. That's the other thing. Always listen to your inner voice. when I first met him, I had a bunch of dates lined up. So I was going on all these coffee dates, big tip, coffee, short commitment if required. Anyway, I met some really nice people, but I just knew intuitively they weren't for me. And then my car window broke. And I had seen him texting me, and I messaged him. I'm like, you're not going to believe this. I'm sitting in my car, and my window just broke. And he's like, do you need me to come get you? And all I heard in my head was, this man has your back. And I went, that guy. And yeah, somebody can believe. So those are the things you should be asking for. I want someone I can be my authentic self with. Completely. The good, the bad, and the ugly. He's seen all the bits. The crazy bits where I win prizes. The messy bits where I'm bawling my head off. You know, we've had some people pass, like my grandmother's passed and his friend Al passed, and like, you know, frustrated with things, and you know, you got to be someone. He'll say to me, what are you trying on? You're doing this with your lips. Like, I'll be watching TV and I'll be like, He's like, what's going on? Like, he knows me, right? Yes. Love without balance or harmony, safe place, holy sacred, there's no love or like, yes, you just, someone you could, that's what you should be asking for. Not he has to be 6'2" and a chiseled, no. Who can I be my authentic self with? Someone I'm comfortable with. Someone that I also think is a little bit hot. Yes, I have ADHD. Oh my God, I have so much of that. He laughs. He goes, squirrel. He's like, yeah, whatever, right? And my ex-husband never accepted that. I need someone accepting my authentic, yeah, squirrel. And he just chuckles because I'm doing so many things. So just find that. There's someone out there. There is. You just have to trust it. Anyway, I gotta go because I gotta take a Silva class, and this phone is losing battery. Oh, I'm a Capricorn. I'm a Capricorn too. I'm a triple Capricorn. Oh my God, was your butt kicked the last 10 years? Pluto, 15. Pluto went into Capricorn in 2008. My sun, my moon, and my Mercury. So my daughter's a Capricorn rising. Oh, year of the rabbit. I'm a horse and she's a horse, my daughter. My ex was a pig or something. Anyway, the Capricorn, really quick, in Capricorn, went into Pluto in 2008. And my sun, which is your ego, your moon, which is your emotions, and your Mercury, which is your communication, was all in Capricorn. They're all conjunct in 7th and 8th houses. I had everything change. I got a divorce. I moved a couple of times. I've changed cars a couple of times. I had some health issues. I went through menopause. Like, you name it. I went bankrupt. Like, you name it, it happened. It was like, so the person that goes into that cycle is not the person that comes out that cycle. I can confirm that 100%. 100%. I'm not the same person. I'm so glad Pluto is in Aquarius right now. We have one little bit last dip into Capricorn, and then he's gone for good. And I said to Robert, oh my God, I can hardly wait till Pluto goes into Aquarius, because don't let the door hit you on the way out. And he goes, but then you get all the Aquarius lessons. And I'm like, shh, 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 shh. Don't say that. It's true, though. We're just here to learn lessons. Helene even talks about that in her book. We're here to learn lessons. There's always another lesson. Anyway, and because I'm 57, I'm smack at the beginning of my second Saturn return. Yay! So there's always something to learn. That's what it is. This is the adventure we signed up for. We have to remember that when it gets a little shitty. Anyway, I gotta go. It's 8 o'clock. Class has already started, and I'm not there yet. But I need to do more lives, and I will come back on. So, yeah, make sure you follow me, and I'll come back on. But go to my website, because I have been publishing I'm trying to make I'm making a concerted effort to continually publish something new from Helene every week that I find. And what's crazy is I was looking for a file, and I was really shocked that I did not have anything from Helene when I visited her. And I found 2 audio interviews that I did with her and a bunch of pictures of her house. And I'm like, oh my God. So the audios are with my producer because he's cleaning them up, the files. And I'm going to be putting them on as, it can be an audio download or straight up on YouTube. Ah, how cool is that? Anyway, I gotta go. I'm late. I promise to come back more often. Oh, and I'm going on a massive adventure at the end of this month. So stay tuned because I'm going to be going live. I'm going to be doing vlogging, all kinds of fun things. Oh, teach us how to do a vision board next time. Oh, go to my YouTube channel because I just did some videos on that. And I learned Helene, in her book, The Name It and Claim It Game, she does a money board, like a money vision board. And I've done 3 videos on that. And the one that I usually do at the beginning of April, but I'm away, so I'm going to do it the middle of April. So I do them approximately every 6 months and show how things have changed, and I do slightly different techniques every time. It's so fun. So go on my YouTube channel because I have that out, and also I blog it. Or did I blog it this year? Now I'm starting to think. I don't know. I don't think I did a blog. I might have to go back and blog it. Oh, I'm a little late. Anyway, bye.